Hey, this is Dan Padavona, and today I wanted to read you a short story. But I hardly ever write short stories these days. What I have written, however, are a few pretty scary novels, including the one right above me called Crawlspace. Crawlspace, released in 2016, includes a short story which is a little bit like an urban legend, kind of intermixed with the overall plotline. What I want to stress to you, though, is that if you haven't read Crawlspace yet, and I sure hope you do someday, there's nothing in this passage which gives away or spoils the rest of the story. All right, so let's get into it. I don't believe in clairvoyance, and I've never handed money to a fortune teller. But I'm convinced we all possess a sixth sense which warns us of danger. I don't believe it's a mystical perception, or that it can be enhanced by gazing at crystals. More likely it's hereditary, instinctual, and intuition handed down by ancestors who'd learned to sense if the saber-toothed tiger was waiting outside the cave entrance. Those with the sixth sense survived, and it became a hidden part of our DNA. Poltergeist meets Darwinism. When I was 12, I worked odd jobs during the summer for Old Lady Walcott, an 85-year-old widow who lived kitty-corner to us in a moss-covered Cape Cod. I mowed her lawn and took out her trash every Tuesday night. And every evening, she'd invite me inside for a Coke, stale cookies, and to talk about the good old days. This meant missing out on a neighborhood game of kick the can or bike tag, but I never said no. Even at 12, I think I understood how much a half hour of companionship means to someone who spends every day paging through scrapbook photos of departed loved ones and watching the lives of a new generation play out through a thin slit in the curtains. One evening, she was alone in the living room, listening to Old Blue Eyes sing a Bobby Darin tune about spreading scarlet billows, when she heard a strange metallic sound coming from the attic. The sound kept repeating. She started to worry. As she struggled off the sofa, the telephone rang, and when she answered, a man whose voice she didn't recognize told her he was installing windows down the street and had spotted a tree branch lodged in a roof fan. Mrs. Walcott thanked the kind man and told him she'd call her repairman in the morning. The man was insistent that she fix the problem immediately. The blade, she stressed, would be ruined by morning, making the repair job prohibitively expensive. All she needed to do was climb up the attic and push the branch out of the van, a 10-second task. Something in the man's voice unsettled Mrs. Walcott, that sixth sense whispering in her ear. He was, however, quite persuasive. Eventually he convinced her. But one thing frightened her. She never heard him hang up the phone. She dragged herself up 2 flights of stairs with a flashlight, stopping twice because she felt short of breath. Strange the climb tired her so, as it rarely did more than leave her a little winded. Old Lady Walcott was in better shape than most 50-year-olds I knew. As she battled her way up the stairs, the attic sounds grew louder. Ting, ting, ting. When she reached the attic door, panic seized her. For a moment, she worried she might be having a heart attack. The truth struck her at once. Something horrible was inside the attic. She backed away from the door, never taking her eyes off the knob until she was safely down the landing. Mrs. Walcott shuffled onto the porch to the wail of police sirens. 2 squad cars screeched to a halt at the curb. A pair of officers with guns drawn urged her to move away from the house. The police found the man in the attic, deranged and grinning. A neighbor had spotted him through the attic window and dialed 911. The phone receiver was still dangling from one hand, while the other held a razor blade over his head, the roof vent fan clanging against the bloody tip. As far as the police could tell, he consumed his own flesh while he waited for hers. On any other evening, I might have been inside the house with her. making her feel not so alone. But that night my folks had taken me out for ice cream, a rarity that summer when Mom was watching her figure and Dad was trying to lower his cholesterol. Maybe their sixth senses intervened and saved me. And to this day, whenever a situation gives me the creeps, I take my intuition seriously. And that is it, and I hope you enjoyed it.